You do not have to struggle through life. So, what this means is that we are natural beings, and everything, if you look into nature, everything just grows. Nothing, struggles to grow. It just does. It doesn't try, and that's just what it's meant to do. Like, it was put on this world to do everything in nature, to do exactly what it is that it's doing. So, the grass was put on here and it's meant to grow, and then it goes dormant in the winter and then it grows back. That's just the way that it works with that stuff, and that's natural. And we're natural beings, so we're really should be living, those same laws apply to us on as far as what we're here to do. And it's just like everything else in nature, it's to grow and to become more and more. So in order to do that, sometimes we don't always go with the natural laws. And what I mean by natural laws is there's specific, I'll get into it a little later, specific laws, like the law of karma. That's one I think everybody can relate to. But in a general sense, to follow the laws, it's just really, the law is just about goodness. Like, everything on this world, if you look into nature, I I understand that it could be viewed as not everything's good, but that's like, as far as an animal eating another animal, but that's just the way that the world works. You have to survive. So other than those types of things in nature, the majority of everything is for the purpose of everything is to grow and for more, because even that predator eating an animal, that's for more growth for the predator. And that other animal's purpose on this earth, it could be said that it's here to feed and to grow, the higher beings on the food chain. So to go and look at these laws and know that it's just based on goodness and being good and doing the right things, we can start to look at our lives and pick out the things that, that don't make you feel good, that don't seem to be right, because those are the ones that are going against the laws, the natural laws. And a big sign that you're not doing things, the way that nature is intending, is if you find yourself struggling in life. And, it could be a struggle in your personal life, in your job, really in just any part of your life. If you feel a struggle, then there's going to be something that you're doing or you're involved with, or something that's just, it's going against it's going against nature. So to identify those and then start to work towards, you're not always going to be able to get those types of things out of your life, but because you control your mind, you can control what things actually are set into your mind, and what things, because your mind, your subconscious mind dictates your behavior, because that's how you act without thinking. So if you continue to put things that go against the law into your mind, these negative things, you're going to be tending to act in a negative way, because you're just going along. You don't even realize it. Your subconscious mind is the one, it dictates your mood without you thinking, and all those things are going to lead you down to just more, and you're going to get more of what it is that you continue to do. So if you continue to put out negativity, you're going to continue to get negativity. If you continue to, let's say, like complaining, that's a big one. We all do it, but that's something that could be stopped. And what you do is, whenever you begin to complain, or you have a thought where you want to complain, is just stop and ask yourself, okay, so if I complain, what is this going to do? Is this going to help me? Like, really help you, not help you think that you're feeling better, because I would challenge that complaining is only intensifying the feelings, that whatever it is that you're complaining about, it's only justifying those feelings more. And the more that you internalize and justify those feelings that you have, the deeper they're going to be ingrained. So really, it's to come out and challenge yourself and really ask yourself, what good is this going to do? What am I going to gain by acting this way? And things like that. And back to the laws of nature, everything is meant just to be a free flow, a smooth flow. There should be no struggle. It's not swimming upstream, and it's not. It's easy to know. but you just have to remember that you're looking to look at yourself, because when we live life, it's easy just to fall back into that, the jive of life, and you're just living, and you just don't think about these things, because for some of us, to open up and really look at ourselves is something new. And it's hard, it can be hard to stick to something new. That's changing a habit. It could be losing weight, stopping smoking. At first maybe you're all feeling good, but really it's just that constant repetition of remembering and reminding yourself, to catch yourself when you're complaining. And remember, every time you start to complain, the more that you're able to stop yourself and ask yourself these questions, you're naturally going to realize that, the complaining is it's not getting you any good. All it's doing is it's bringing back more of the things that you're putting out there. And, you really do have the power. It does come to willpower, unless you have somebody that you can go through this journey with to hold each other accountable. All you'll have is your willpower to remember that this is what the things that you're doing. And at first it'll be a struggle, and it's not going to be perfect. I don't know if it'll ever be perfect. If you'll ever just never, if you're working on the complaining, I don't know if it'll ever never complain. But I don't think that it really matters if you never complain. It's just that you recognize what you're doing and you remember, and then naturally you're just going to stop. You're going to catch yourself more. And then you're going to find that over time, you're just going to stop the complaining. You're just not going to think about it. It's not going to be a thought in your mind. And that's the way that the mind works. It's not magic. It's just your mind. Like, it's that powerful to be able to do these things. And if you look at us as human beings on this earth, we're the only beings that are given the choice of our environment. Like, we can dictate every single aspect of our life, how we want everything to be. We really can. We can live in a brick house, we can, in a wood house, a metal house, anything. We can dictate all those things. We choose what we eat. And if you look at the rest of the nature, they don't have the freedom to make those choices. The fish eat what the fish eat. They only have a very limited amount of choices. And it just goes on and on in the animal kingdom that, but the thing is they're perfectly at home. They are perfectly happy, I guess. But they are living with the laws, with the natural laws. They have no choice but to live with those. And that's the way, and they have abundance, right? Like, they never, the fish aren't going to run out of food. There's enough for all of life. And it's the same with us. And it's just through society and things like that have put this mindset of limited supply, when in reality there is no limit on the supply. It's just, that's what people say to get ahead, to get above one person. That's going back to thinking from like a competitive mindset. So you don't have to think or live in a competitive mindset. It's better to live in a more natural mindset, which would be for creative. A creative mindset will lead to more creativity, and as you lose that competitive mindset, you're going to lose the feeling of things being limited, because it's not limited. You never have to take anything from one person. Nobody's going to suffer because you get something. That's not the way that it works. It can. If you're in a competitive mindset, you'll hold somebody down to get above them, but with the creative mindset, you don't have to do that. And there's enough for everybody to have everything that they want, and you can, as long as you do these things, as long as you just make a good, honest, best inside your heart effort. Nobody's gonna be perfect, but as long as you feel inside that you're doing good and you want good and you're working down that path of goodness, then things are going to get better for you. That's just the way that it works. And the more that you're able to not internalize and emotionalize the negative things that you see and that you hear, the better that you're going to go down this path of, positivity and of goodness. And I guess more on those, because I talked a lot about the natural laws. Of course, the law of karma, that's one I think that the vast majority of people can relate. And it's, it's true, and that's our proof in front of us. That's one of those to say that this is just the way that things work. We don't understand it. Nobody really understands why we have karma, but the fact of the matter is that there is, and it's real. And similar to that's the law of cause and effect. So everything has a cause and effect. I mean, there's really no getting around it. That's just one of the natural laws. And with that is the laws of opposite, which would be, if something has a top, it has to have a bottom. And if something has a right, it has to have a left. So that means that if something, has a positive, it has to have a negative. And once you start to understand these things and realize that that's just the way that it works, that gets more into the understanding and will help bring in, faith in these principles. And once you start to get the faith in these laws, that's where you'll start finding it easier to follow them, because you're really going to believe them, and you just have to start to understand them more. And then the law of giving and receiving, which, the more that you give, the more that you receive. And that's what I try to do, is just stay with the positive at all times. And it's for the most part, I'm able to, but I always find myself with the negativity a little bit. And it's just a battle of will, and it's just remembering. And I'll just continue to say that you just have to remember that you're trying to improve. You're trying to be better in life. And the more that you're able to remind yourself and remember that those are the things that you're trying to do, the easier this is going to get, and the better that you're going to see the results. And then, you believe me, as soon as you start to realize and see these results, and it's one thing to realize and see them, but once you realize and you believe that it's because of this change, this intentional change that you're making in your life is why these things are getting better, then all you're going to want to do is come back and just continue to work at this, because the possibilities truly are endless. And I really do believe that anybody is capable of anything, as long as they have the desire and they have the intention and they're willing to take action. Those are the big things. And sometimes it's easy to set and think about these things in our minds, but it's when the rubber comes to meet the road and that action step that we'll kind of fall back, and you're going to have a lot of reasons. Your mind's going to give you a lot of reasons not to take the actions on the things that you want to do in your life. But that's a necessary part of it. Like, that's, the action you just have to do it. And then once you do it, you're going to realize that all of those thoughts, all of those reasons that you thought you shouldn't or you couldn't do it, they're all going to go away. And you're going to look back and say, well, that wasn't so bad. And more doors are going to continue to open. And you just have to continue with that action step through all the things that you want to try to do in your life. You have to have the intention. You have to want to do it in a good way. It's no cheating, lying, stealing. It's always honest, always just for the better of everybody. It's think of it in ways as, it's going to help me in my life, but it's how is it going to help other people? And as long as you have that in your mind, that, this helps me in this way, but other people will be helped as well. That's the true purpose for us here on the earth, is to not only grow ourselves, but to help other people grow, help other people become better, and realize these things. And you do that, and then you take the action. That's all that you have to do. And you're not going to do it all at once, but it's just a constant, every day doing something small to build it up. And just remembering that that's what you're doing. I mean, I can't say that enough, because that's the hardest part. It's easy, like I said before, it's easy just to fall back into kind of the way that our lives have been and the things that we've been doing. And it's just easier that way. It's hard to go against and to have to go against the things that we're used to. That's a tough road to go. But it's, once you start to make it out and just do that, then you'll realize pretty quickly that you can do anything, and then you'll be able to dig yourself up, and your life will just change. So I want to thank you for staying and checking out the video, and I hope that there was something in here that helped you. That's the point of me doing these, is just to try to spark an idea in somebody for them to to go and take something that I said and continue and just remember to do what you're doing, and everything will get better, and you'll live the life that you want to live.